Brachot, Perek Bet, Mishnah Chet. Brachot, 2nd chapter, 8th Mishnah. Mishnah zo hi hemshech Mishnah Hey. This Mishnah is the continuation of the 5th Mishnah. Bale lamdenu, it comes to teach us that we learned in the 5th Mishnah that a groom is not obligated to say the Shema. But over here we're going to learn Shechatan patur mikriyat Shema, that the groom is not obligated of reciting the Shema balayla rishon, in the first night. Ve'af al piken, nevertheless, as we learned, naghag Rabban Gamliel chumra be'atzmo. Rabban Gamliel was strict on himself. Ve'kara Shema belayl chatunato, and he did recite the Shema on the night of his wedding. Mikan ba mishnatenu ladun. So in other words, we would have thought at the end of Mishnah Gimel, at the end of Mishnah Hey, that only people like the sage Rabban Gamliel should recite the Shema. That's what we should have thought, we could have thought. And over here now we're going to ask the question, the fact that you're not obligated, what does that mean? It means you're not obligated and you may say the Shema, or a regular person shouldn't say the Shema. So what does the not obligated mean? Mikan ba mishnatenu ladun. From here our Mishnah comes to teach us, Im kol chatan rashay lachmir al atzmo velikro. If any groom is allowed to make himself as stringent as Rabban Gamliel, or maybe just a haughty behavior and one should refrain from it. So the Mishnah says, Chatan, a groom, shenasa betula, that got married to a virgin. Im ratza likrot kriyat shema laila rishon, if he wanted to read the Shema on the first night, shel hanisuim, of the marriage, kore, he's allowed to. It's not a haughty. Kmo shenahag Rabban Gamliel, just like Rabban Gamliel did. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel omer, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel disagrees. He says, incorrect. Not everybody is allowed. Lo kol harotze litol et Hashem. It says, not anybody who wants to say God's name is allowed to say God's name if he's not required to. Not everybody is allowed to take the name. Which name? The name of Rabban Gamliel. Shel Chasid, of somebody who is a Chasid, umedakdek b'mitzvot, somebody who's performed the commandments meticulously. Why? Because you need someone, hayodea lekaven libo, you need someone who knows to have intention in his heart, gam bishat ridato, also at the time that he is worried about other matters. It says not anybody who wants to take Hashem's name is allowed to take. So it says, Shechatan she'eino mefusam kechasid vezahir bechol hamitzvot, a groom that is not known to be a chassid and not known to be careful in all the commandments, eino rashay lachmir al atzmo binyan kriyat shema beleil hanisuim, is not allowed to be stringent on himself in reading the Shema at the night of marriage. Sheyesh beitnaguto ze mishum yehirut, because he is making himself look better than himself. He's making himself look haughty. Beram bat be'alei atosfot kotvim, the Tosfos write, שבזמננו, that during our time, שאין מכוונים כל כך גם בשאר הימים, that nobody has intention, when they say the Shema so much, like they used to have in Rabban Gamliel's days, it doesn't require such a level of thinking about godliness and not thinking about everything else. כל חתן קורא את קריאת שמע בליל הנישואים. Every groom has to read the Shema in the night of marriage. כי אדרבה, because furthermore, אם לא יקרא תהיה זו יהירות. If he doesn't read, then it's being haughty. Because he's saying, oh, tonight I'm not able to reach the level of meaning to have the yoke of heaven, but all other nights, of course I'm able to. שמראה עצמו כאילו הוא מכוון תמיד, because he shows himself like it's only tonight where he's not able to reach these lofty goals of having a great kavana, a great meaning when he says the Shema. ורק בשעה זו קשה לו לכוון. It's only this time it's hard for me to have this intention. משום תידת המצווה, because of the obligation of this commandment. But all other nights, of course I achieve it. So therefore, in these days, every groom says the Shema.